Hi garden lovers, welcome back to another Over the Fence landscape tour. Today we go to Vancouver, Washington, just north of Portland, to an exceptional garden created by a man named Zach who owns Plantsy Landscape Design, and he specializes in native plant gardens, and he is so educated in the inner workings of these native plants, how they work together, how they grow in the wild. He's a botanist by training. The way he's designed this garden is basically terraforming, so sculpting the earth with his bare hands to create different little sections that represent different microclimates. So you have your vernal pool, and you have your hillocks, and you have your mountainous region. And so it's so fun to go through the garden with him. And he's like a master of every single Latin name. We filmed this garden tour on a very hot day in June. I think it was like 95. And we filmed it at like 10 a.m., which is kind of against my rule of when to film a garden tour. So the lighting is a bit harsher than normal, but the garden still manages to shine with its beauty and elegance. And the tour is filmed by my lovely friend Dre. And a little ways through the garden tour, a little warning popped up on my camera saying that that it was overheating from the sunlight. And so we had to shift gears and kind of find shady little perches for Dre to hang out in. So if you notice the filming style changing midway through the tour, that's why. This garden tour is just the backyard of Lynn's house. Like I was saying, that's kind of focusing on those different bioregions with the terraformed garden. And then part 2 of this tour will be in the front yard, which is Pacific Northwest native meadow, and that is also so worthwhile to see. So I hope you enjoy this tour, and make sure you hit subscribe and get notifications turned on, so when I release part 2 in that meadow, you can see that too. So thanks for joining me as I go over the fence. Let's check it out. Hi Zach, thank you so much for inviting us over the fence of this beautiful garden that you designed. Can you tell us kind of like about who you are and how you got started?
I got started by just being really into native plants, and then I studied botany at OSU, and I've worked as a field botanist, but then I ended up going into being a landscape designer. And so
that's kind of like a big turn, isn't it? Like normally you would be working in the field somewhere, and it's kind of cool to see that you pivoted in this direction. Mm-hmm. To have someone like with so much, such a rich ecological background doing something like this.
And a lot of my love of native plants isn't necessarily just a scientific background, it's also they're beautiful, and that kind of aesthetic side of them is thrilling for me and gets me wanting to come do all the work to make it happen.
Awesome. You started like working with remnant meadows a long time ago. Mm-hmm. How did that come about?
Well, I just did field work for different people as a part of, just being in the botany program, and then finding jobs doing ecological research and helping with, oftentimes it's like doing plant ID to collect data for ecological research studies. So it's where you're trying to identify every plant in an area.
What a great way to just like get a total understanding of how plants grow in the wild, and then to bring that into gardens is amazing. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about, what your process was with this garden?
So I feel that like terrain is very important. Uh-huh. And like when you're in nature, the ground isn't perfectly flat in a lot of areas, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to have like low places that are moist and higher places that are drier allows for higher plant diversity, and then even getting to a rockier place. And also, if you have a mountain plant, why not have it on something that is mountain-like?
And I love that you went for it, like you see a mound in a garden and it's like a little tiny mound, but this is huge and awesome and makes such a statement. And the rocks that you've incorporated into it are so beautiful.
Yeah, I've been doing these mountain gardens and it's been a process. But I also spend a lot of time in mountains because I'm really busy during the spring when some of the lower elevation plants are blooming. So I get up there in the summer. I just get a lot of inspiration from that. So there's a lot of different species here. That is Anemone multifida. So these are the seed heads of it. They're kind of fuzzy.
So that's one I'm not really familiar with in gardens. Is that, it seems like you have a few around.
Yeah, they reseeded and have spread around.
And then is that native to like the Western Willamette region?
I've only seen this species in the mountains.
Okay. In
like the Cascades.
In the Cascades?
Yeah.
Cool. So is there a certain area that you kind of like try to stay within?
Mostly native to Oregon. I do like Southern Oregon species. We have an occasional Northern California species. One really cool plant here also is this kind of mat-forming plant.
Is that a
that's a Saxifraga.
Wow.
Saxifraga cespitosa. You should see way high up in the mountains growing in the rocks.
Cute. Yeah, and she'll just spread out, huh?
Yeah, slowly.
Yeah.
But the Monardella is blooming right now here. If you want to take a leaf and smell it.
Awesome. So mountain mint, right?
Yeah, I actually like to extract it for beverages. I distill it.
That is so nice. You distill it?
Yeah.
Like for making alcohol?
No, it's just an herb distilling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is one that I have in my own garden, and it gives me so much joy, and I really wonder why I don't see it in more gardens.
It's actually gotten kind of popular in the Portland area in gardens, the Linum lewisii.
The flax?
Yeah, it keeps blooming and blooming. At least this particular variant of it does.
So is this 100% native here?
There's like one or two non-native plants in here, or like a couple California natives, for instance.
This one is Wallflower, right?
Yeah, but that's Rhizomum capitata, and it varies a lot in hue, but this is a native one as well.
Oh my gosh, awesome. That's
And
great to know. What is this?
that's Eriogonum compositum, and it's not in full bloom, right? It had tons of flowers, and I cut off all the old flower heads because it looked like crap.
So that's a buckwheat?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but there are just a couple late flowers there. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And that actually is locally native because it occurs on an island and whatnot in the Willamette River.
Wow.
But it's not on the Portland plant list, which is silly. Everyone wants their plants to be, locally native. But I do plants from all over the Pacific Northwest. But like this, you can see right up on Mount Hood. That's pretty local, right? This is kind of looking nice. And also if you get low, this is a Huckleberry oak if you want to just get that shot at some point.
Huckleberry oak.
Yeah, so I've been places where I'm just like walking through Chaparral in Southern Oregon where it's just like chest high of this
So
species.
it is a vaccinium, right? It's
a Quercus. Quercus vaccinifolia.
So it's in the oak family. It's the oak genus, but it looks like a huckleberry.
Yeah,
That's
because of the really
amazing.
little leaves.
I see it. It is so cool. So this grows in Oregon.
Yeah.
But in the chaparral, you said, so kind of like Eastern Oregon?
It's southern. I'm not sure everywhere it grows, but I've seen it in Southwest Oregon.
How cool. Is it hard for you to source some of these plants?
Sometimes I can source them once and never again, like that species. I have to grow things myself.
So you mentioned these little guys.
That's Allium acuminatum, and that is more locally native.
That is just looking like little fireworks right now. I'm only familiar with our Allium cernuum, the one that looks like little pink saucers.
Oh, the nodding onion.
Yeah, so it's nice to see something, a little more flamboyant. Yeah.
And they stay really small, too.
And you mentioned this one, too?
Oh, that's Navarisha intertexta. I had grown that from seed. You don't really see that in gardens, really.
Yeah, I love this. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a thyme, but even more interesting. Like,
Yeah.
and it just spreads. Does it stay evergreen?
No, it's an annual.
Oh, it's an
Yeah.
annual.
As we come up into here, there's a lot going on. There's, of course, this Ipomopsis aggregata, this scarlet gilia. And we
Wow.
have seen, just the other day, I saw hummingbirds on it. And then also hummingbirds on this guy,
Yeah.
Dichelostemma idamaya,
Wow.
that's kind of fading out.
So this is like nothing I've seen before, and it seems like definitely it would be your specimen plant in the garden. Like maybe there's not, it doesn't seed or spread so easily.
Yeah, it can be hard to grow, but
Yeah.
you'll see it around, like if you're on the east side of Mount Hood or various places, it's around. Over here, there's these little guys.
Oh, those are adorable.
The Leptosophon bicolor.
Oh, so precious. So that's probably a slow grower, hard to source.
No, it's actually an annual, and I've gotten them from two different people here, the only people I know who grow them.
And which nurseries are those?
At one point I got it from Zara Nursery, and then also from Kate of Sea Blush Natives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This sedge is something that I grow myself because I love having things have a meadowy feel, like if you're up in the mountains, having some graminoids or grass or sedge type component is really nice, but also not having something that's going to get really big and hide the view of rocks.
Yeah.
So this,
because it's easy for some of these to take over. So it seems like you found one that really just, it's a polite plant.
yeah, and it's hard to propagate, but it's worth it.
And I haven't heard that term graminoids. Is that just like things that have, you know, blades?
It's like grass-like, so it could be a rush, a sedge, or grass.
Okay, well
So-
now I can sound smart.
Yeah.
Use the word graminoids.
Well, some people sound very not smart and they just say grass for everything. It's okay, everyone does.
That was old Donna. This is new Donna saying graminoids.
You were like, look at that nice little grass on your mountain there. But yeah, there's a variety of species here, not just mountain plants. There's like that Polygonum paronychia is native to the coast.
So that's this one with the red stems?
Yeah, which I'm thinking of developing might be good for conventional landscaping purposes, but it could like spread and fill in. Some things just have very small flowers and you have to get up close to.
Zach, this is just like so beautiful. It really is an art piece looking at this, and I love the height just adds so much. It's just, you did a really spectacular job with this.
Thanks.
And I love, you know, this little cinquefoil, right? Am I saying that right? Potentia.
Yeah, it's changed into Dasyphora, but it is Potentilla.
Of course.
Fruticosa.
Yeah, so that just makes a nice backdrop, along with the Phacelia back here and the Ceanothus.
Yeah, the Phacelia hastata.
This is an annual, right?
Yeah, the Gilia, it's such a great annual. Sometimes, yeah, there's just tons of it in this garden. It just reseeds in the gravel really well.
Do you have to like come and spread seeds in the spring, or is it just this garden is just taken off and it's got a life of its own now?
To some degree, some plants we've added over the years, but a lot of these plants are the original plants that I put in or we put in 4.5 years ago or so.
We have to do a shout out to the gardener Lynn, who it seems like works, you know, in this garden a lot.
Yeah,
too.
she does some of the maintenance, which is great having someone around when we can't make it over super often, and also just getting things watered at critical times and whatnot.
Well, I would love to journey with you to the next ecosystem. If you could take me there.
Yeah.
Should we go?
Yeah, let's go down into the wet meadow.
Ooh, that sounds great. And I love these stones. You've really made it just kind of an adventure too. And lots of monkey flowers, so that's a great plant for wet climates, huh? I mean, and it's still like, is it considered a vernal pool where it's dry in the summer?
This does get a little bit of irrigation in the summer, more so than everything else. There's some emitters around the edges here. Like that purple monkey flower normally grows in mountain streams on the edges of but even though this does kind of stay moist, there are some vernal pool species I put in here, like the Coyote thistle, which is an Eryngium petiolatum,
Oh,
which is
cool.
related to a commonly planted ornamental.
Yeah. So the little spiky thing, right? The blue
that's like
spiky
kind of-
ball. So how does that flower? Is it kind of similar?
Yeah, in a similar way, just not so as showy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other vernal pool species just hiding amongst all of the meadow
And the
plants.
checker mallow is making a huge statement in here as well.
Yeah, the Pseudalcia hendersonii that likes it a little more moist.
So that's the hendersonii. Okay.
And then there's even like you see on the edge of a mountain lake, this is Comarum palustre. It's been here for a couple years and finally bloomed. It has these weird, interesting kind of burgundy flowers.
Yeah.
And
What is this one? This is such interesting foliage.
oh yeah, it's kind of dying back for the year, which is normal this time of year. These are the seed head over here.
Beautiful.
But that is Lomatium dissectum, which
I've never seen a big lomatium. I've always seen them super tiny.
yeah, these ones, yeah, they're great. And
it's like fall color in summertime. It's so cool. So that'll just die down to the ground.
Yeah, so there's a lot of plants here that are summer dormant. Then there's some plants that bloom later in the summer. June is great, as you can see.
Yeah.
May is the best flowering.
And then is it kind of hard in the later months? August, like?
Yeah, there's like a little bit less, but there's some things that are just starting to bloom, like this Erythranthe decora that's going to keep blooming here.
Oh.
I'm the only one who I know is growing that species.
Erythranthe. I have no idea anything about it. It kind of looks like a monkey flower, but
it stays
not.
nice and small, and it's not going to reseed and take over your whole moist area.
So it seems like you have a lot of experience with like spreaders, and I know you've written an article about it, and you've done a lot of research, and it makes a lot of sense to not include plants in your garden that are going to take over.
Yeah.
And so it's great that you have that knowledge. Are there any plants that you like right off the top of your mind that people use that you're like, maybe you shouldn't use that in your
Douglas
garden?
Aster, Nootka Rose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I made the mistake with Douglas Aster.
It might be controversial, but showy milkweed.
Oh, for sure.
Because it can kind of persist even if you really try to get rid of it. This is Symphyotrichum hendersonii or Coutine aster. See how small the height of it? And it just keeps blooming and blooming. I don't know of anyone else growing this species.
It's already blooming now.
Yeah, and it does send out seeds, but it's actually wrapped in plastic right now. It's just a technique you can use. If you can see down in here, if I can expose it.
It's like you planted it in a pot, essentially?
Yeah, it's a plastic bamboo barrier.
Oh, okay.
So but it's down there.
So that just keeps the rhizomes from spreading?
Yeah, but it's so nice to have a late season bloomer for the pollinators that you don't necessarily want to get rid of every single spreader.
Yeah.
Just to make your garden low maintenance, because we're doing this not just for our own enjoyment, though I would have to say the native plants make me happier than maybe a non-native plant would.
Yeah, especially when they're planted in a garden that does such a good job of just feeling peaceful and zen and balanced, and you've definitely created that here. And that's kind of one of the things I guess people feel that they're not going to plant natives because it's seen as like messy. So do you have any tricks for just how you've created this, like how gardeners can create that at home?
I think being selective of what species you use and avoiding the spreaders, and also just realizing that there is some maintenance involved. That if you want to have a native plant garden that is a bit more tidy, it is possible. It just means maybe do a little more weeding, a little bit more of this and that. And even I make mistakes. Like I planted these sedges, which we've had to cut back and we're going to remove because they just kind of get too big and they splay out. And
so what gramophomia is that?
Graminoid. You could say sedge in this case because it's...
What sedge is that?
It's Camisoi sedge or Carex pachystacia.
Okay.
I've already trimmed it back and they're going to get removed. There's so many great native plants, and then you put them in a garden and they can just get bigger than you expect.
Totally,
And
because they're not used to getting that, you know, the kind of nutrients and love and attention that they would get in the wild.
But look at this sedge here. Look at how beautiful that is.
That they wouldn't get in the wild. That is a very well behaved, very stately sedge.
So I've not heard of anyone else putting this in gardens, but I have started. This is Carex spectabilis.
Spectabulous.
Yeah, and you might see that up on Mount Hood, like you're up in the Mount Hood Meadows area. And it has this nice, more bluish kind of tone to the leaves.
And I love the little pendulous seed heads hanging off.
Yeah.
What do you call it? There's probably a botanical name for that.
Spikes.
Spikes, okay.
And then there's a bunch of sedum blooming right now. The sedum lanceolatum.
That's gorgeous. And then this is just kind of kept full of water.
Yeah, that was Lynn's idea. She wanted a place for the bees to drink water.
Aww.
So they can kind of walk down on the rocks and take a sip.
What a simple pond. I mean, you don't need to have some fancy thing installed. I see a little irrigation head, so that just fills it up. So I love the bridge. Was that your idea or Lynn's idea?
It was my idea.
That's you. I love it. It just, you know, adds so much character to any garden. And then it's actually functional too. In the winter, you're actually walking over water.
The water does come out here from this roof area.
The whole roof.
And it starts to fill up here. Maybe occasionally works its way up here. But it's more for aesthetic reasons. And it's because I wanted to have these hillocks to make the terrain more dynamic and interesting. And it's also for like layers, so you can see the plants at different heights as they work their way up the hill.
So are you planting the shorter plants at the bottom and the taller plants at the top?
No, actually often smaller plants at the tops of hillocks, because the taller ones won't block the view of the top of the hillock. You can have the tall ones down below, but maybe not from where you're viewing from. Like here, I don't want really tall plants because then you wouldn't be able to see all this lovely coastal monkey flower in there.
Yeah.
But these, I mean, these kept reseeding. I mean, only planted a couple originally.
The columbine?
Yeah, and also this Ranunculus orthorhynchus, which is kind of fading out of bloom, but still has many flowers.
Oh, I love the little seed heads too. They're so fun.
But like this, some things are just starting to bloom, like this Boykinia major here.
Oh, cute.
And then we have, this is Penstemon hesperius, which you can't plant anymore because it's considered to be endangered.
Which makes no sense why you can't plant it. I mean, I guess they don't want it to be poached from the wild.
It's a great garden plant though.
Is this the Aquilegia, which one is this?
Aquilegia formosa. It is, except
Formosa?
that there was introgression in this garden because I initially planted Aquilegia flavescens, which is kind of native to further east in Oregon, which is just yellow. And it bred with this one, and they kept crossing and crossing in the garden to the point where there's some that are a little bit more pale, and then there was one over here that had like a very light orange coloring. So there's just fun accidental things. The Penstemon hybridize in this garden, and it gets pretty confusing.
And that seems like a really nice Spirea to plant.
Oh yeah.
That's just such a beautiful seed head. So fluffy, and I can see the bees are loving it.
Yeah, it's Birchleaf Spirea. I plant a ton of that. There aren't very many native small shrub species.
Really?
And this one is pretty, it can do partial shade, it can do full sun. So yeah, I use that a lot.
Okay, yeah. So I've seen that more in conventional gardens too. I think that's a popular one.
Yeah, they're often using the non-native cultivated variety of it, but.
Oh, I see.
That was bred somewhere else. But
so that's something you have to make sure is your source of where you're buying it.
Because the bees are loving these nice fluffy inflorescences. That is actually the non-native one that Lynn kind of added later because she just wanted a shrub right there. And it's actually finished blooming already, and it's the same species, but it does not have as many pollinators on it.
So are there shrubs that you specifically don't use just because they get too big?
In the right situation, yeah, but I tend to like not plant a lot of shrubs because I like the herbaceous plants. In this kind of environment, you're wanting to look into the garden. You don't want something to obstruct your view. Maybe there's a taller plant here and there, but they might be a little more narrow or a little more airy than a shrub might be.
Terraforming is, it seems like, the most work that you have to do in the beginning. Are you doing it all by hand?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty subtle. So if you want these kind of sculpted landscape, you can't really have too much by way of excavation equipment. It's more of a sculptural process.
Yeah.
Like if we were to do a garden much larger than this with deeper topography, like, yes, that could be good.
Well, it really does feel like I'm in a painting. It's just like, I love that you said it's a sculptural process, and it feels like a living sculpture. It's beautiful.
It's to look like it's in nature, yeah, but it's also for the plants. But in the end, it's like the garden is supposed to evoke a feeling. That's my main goal. Yes, I want it to be habitat. I want the birds and the insects to be nourished.
Yeah.
But I want people to get the kind of feeling they get when they're in nature. And that really helps make it a little more dramatic and like you're on a hike or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the feeling that you like to take away when you're in a garden like this?
I think it's like when you're so stimulated by so many different plants around you and you just kind of feel immersed and you are able to kind of just get away from all the other thoughts that you might have going on in your mind, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, like, it's more of a maximalist setting, like having more beautiful plants and more interest and variety. That is what helps me get outside of my mindset. Less so than like if you were in a Japanese garden and it's much more minimalistic, for instance, which is also beautiful, you know. But, you know.
But it's like, it really does feel like you're taking a walk in the woods. The just merry surprises that come out at you and you wouldn't expect, and the plant combinations that aren't totally designed. They put themselves there.
Yeah. Though, I mean, as much as they put themselves different places, there's also a lot of removal of plants where you don't want them to be. And because they spread somewhere and you're like, well, now I can't see my really cute plant that was right there, you know? I mean, it's a combination of things. It's the initial design is definitely important, and like the plant selection and having and designing a way so you can have a really high diversity of plants, but also follow up and realizing that things do change in different ways, sometimes in ways you're like thrilled with, like, wow, that's like, I'm so happy that plant seeded over there, and then sometimes not so much. And so it's this kind of iterative process where you're over the years to get things as beautiful as they can become.
Well, Zach, it's been such a pleasure walking through this wonderland that you've made. I've just been so inspired. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook and Instagram at PlantsyPDX and on plantsy.com. And we'll be having open gardens, including here next spring.
Great to know. Okay.
Yeah, and
is there a newsletter or just kind of keep up with your...
No newsletter, but
okay.
I think that, yeah, following us helps. Anyway, I look forward to seeing your video. It was great showing you around the garden.
Yeah, thanks for having us over the fence.